At one time, in 1800, we had 60 million plus buffalo in the Great Plains area. They were vast, they were abundant, and they were the lifeblood for the people that lived in this part of the world. Through very specific policies, there was an intentional effort by the government to wipe out the buffalo. The reason was buffalo were everything to us. They were our economy, they were our source of food, shelter, clothing, spiritual items. People understood that if the buffalo were taken away, that our ability to be self-sufficient would no longer exist, and we would be forced to come on to reservations and be forced to be reliant upon the government. And so there was a very specific effort. And what happened is that by 1900, there were less than 1,000 free roaming buffalo. We went from 60 million plus to less than 1,000 in 100 years.
On Rosebud, we're not farmers. Traditionally, we were hunter and gatherer people, lived on the plains, and one of our biggest food staples was buffalo. And so we followed the buffalo and migrated throughout the prairies. A way to subjugate us was to attack our food system, which was meaning to attack buffalo. We had to move here on a reservation system. We were disconnected with buffalo. We kind of lost that way of life. And so now what we're trying to do today is trying to reconnect with that and trying to revitalize our food systems, our life ways.
The Lakota Regenerative Buffalo Range is a 28,000 acre buffalo range that will be home to 1,500 animals that will be able to produce between 300 and 400 surplus buffalo per year. At 28,000 acres and 1,500 buffalo, it will be the largest Native American owned and managed buffalo herd in the world.
And we also have our education initiative, which is kind of leading our first Lakota Immersion School. But we work with them on sourcing as much as local produce to go into their school lunch program. We collaborate with them on buffalo harvests to make sure they have like community buffalo harvests that they create projects around and do learning around, and also to have buffalo meat as part of their school lunch program again.
For educational and spiritual purposes, we teach for their grade levels everything about buffalo. And at the end of their lesson plan, the curriculum, we gather the families, we have the appropriate protocol and ceremony for it, and then we go out and do a buffalo hunt and harvest. And the kids can get in there. We show them food safety and knife safety, and we show them how to do it. Everything from that harvest we use here, whether it's drying the bones out to show them like this is what it looks like when it's dry. This is what you can use it for, like we talked about. And all the meats and the organs and all of that we use in our lunch program. By having that ceremony and tying the spirituality into it, we're maintaining our relationship with Tatanka, the buffalo.
The Great Plains prairie ecosystem was developed and emerged over thousands of years of having these massive herds of buffalo on it. And the original prairie ecosystems were incredibly vibrant and deep and lush. There's early accounts, Western accounts, where people wrote about these massive grasslands where the grass was over 6 feet tall. And on the other side, we had these incredible root systems that went down into the ground up to 6 feet. These grasslands served as incredible carbon sinks. And when buffalo were eradicated, and basically, taken off the land, what happened was the Dust Bowl. That was a direct result of the removal of buffalo from the plains ecosystem. When you reintroduce buffalo back onto a Great Plains prairie ecosystem, they begin to regenerate the land, and they create these incredible carbon sinks, and they even create microclimates. One of the things that buffalo do is a practice called wallowing, where they will use their horns and kind of tear up a portion of the ground and then wallow in it. That's part of their health. Well, what happens over time is those wallows fill up with water and create these mini wetland environments, which become homes to, birds and, help increase, kind of aquatic animals. So a part of our work, a part of what we're doing is we're just providing a space for buffalo. And buffalo, Tatanka, they are the actual climate fighters. They are the actual justice fighters. And so they're doing much more than we as humans can ever do. We just need to give them a space. Our fates are tied together, buffalo and the Lakota. And then when the buffalo are strong, the Lakota will be strong. And when the Lakota are strong, the buffalo will be strong.